We continue our Black History Month coverage at the Plymouth Church in Brooklyn Heights, a place that played an integral part in the anti-slavery movement. It was founded in 1847. This church would become a safe house for slaves seeking freedom. Among notable worshipers, Abraham Lincoln, who prayed twice in 1860 at the church. Martin Luther King Jr. rehearsed his "I Have a Dream" speech at the church. Roger Clark is standing by there now with more on this. Good morning, Roger.
Well, Pat, yeah, in case in point, right behind me, there's a stained glass of Abraham Lincoln. Now, usually you come to churches and there's a lot from the Bible, but here you typically see it's a history of religion in America, and you have folks like Abraham Lincoln and, of course, the founder, Henry Ward Beecher. Now, this is the church part. If you go downstairs, check out this video. We were down there earlier. It is the basement. It just looks like any other basement, but it was more. It was a stop on the Underground Railroad, of course, the secret route that slaves from the South took to freedom in the North. And to talk more about other history that happened here, which is so much, is the senior minister, Brett Younger. Good to see you. And not only was this a stop on the Underground Railroad, which is unbelievable, but a pretty famous guy did some preaching here as well.
Yes, one of my predecessors, Harry Crooner, was friends with Martin Luther King Jr. when they were both at Boston University. And so in February of '63, Martin Luther King Jr. preached an early version of his "I Have a Dream" speech here at Plymouth.
Right, and amazingly so, and when he did it here first, and then he was at, the March on Washington, he's giving the speech. Apparently it wasn't going too well right at the beginning. Mahalia Jackson, the great gospel singer, gave him a tip.
Well, King was a Baptist preacher, and so he was used to some back and forth, some call and response, and the 250,000 people on the mall didn't know how to do that. And so she says, "Martin, give him the dream, give him the dream." And so he slipped into part of the speech that he had given here at Plymouth several months earlier.
And the rest is history. Another pretty famous guy also sat in one of these pews, Abraham Lincoln. But that's pretty amazing.
Yes, Lincoln came twice. The first time he was invited by a church member who did legal business with him in Illinois. And he was supposed to give the Cooper Union speech here at Plymouth, but it was February and the weather was threatening, and the East River, there's no Brooklyn Bridge, it's the ferry or walk across on the ice. And so they moved that speech, but they invited invited Lincoln to come to church on Sunday morning. And so he sat on pew 89 and came back several months later, unannounced, just to hear Beecher preach. And the story is that the ushers didn't recognize him and sent him to the balcony. Not sure if he was trying to sneak in or not.
Great story. Thank you, Brett Younger. We're going to have more for you coming up at 8:50. Jackie Robinson and the Brooklyn Dodgers. It's true. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Roger. We'll check back with you then.